Have you ever wondered why your guitar solos sound less like blues and more like you're just playing scales? Well, today we're going to fix that. Hey, Steve Stine here from GuitarZoom.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'm excited to have you join me today for a simple guitar lesson that's going to change the way that you play your solos. Now, in this video, we're going to be focusing on mixing major and minor pentatonic together to make your solo sound really bluesy. Now, before we do, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video. Also, make sure that you stick around until the end because I'm going to share with you some tips on how to end your soloing phrases with more of a blues sound. All right, so in this video, we're going to be talking about mixing major and minor pentatonic and how to really do that effectively so you can get some blues sounds from your solos right away. So the first thing we need to do is we need to discuss what major pentatonic and minor pentatonic look like and how they interact over each other in the same position. So let's take a look at major pentatonic. We're going to be in the key of A for this example. So I'm going to play this. All right, so I'm playing 5-7, 4-7, 4-7, 4-6, 5-7, 5-7, and that's my A major. Now, the beauty of soloing in A blues, let's say you're using A7, D7, and E7, okay, or just major chords or whatever it is that you're using, you obviously can solo in A major pentatonic. That would make logical sense. But the cool thing about blues is that you could also solo in minor pentatonic over a major chord progression, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it sounds awesome. So let's look at A minor pentatonic in that same spot on the guitar, in that same position. So we're playing 5-8, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-8, 5-8. Now, what we want to be able to see are both of those interacting at the same time. Let me show you an example on the first and second strings. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at major, 5-7, 5-7, and minor, 5-8, 5-8. All right? Now, if I put all of those together at the same time, it's not going to sound like blues. What I need to do is combine them in a proper way to get more of that blues sound. So let's say we played the major on the second string and played the minor on the first string. So we have 5-7, 5-8. And what you're going to notice right away is it has more of that kind of blues sound, especially if I add a phrase to it. Now, the cool thing is that you can always add other things around it. Let's say I played that phrase, but what I want to do is add a little bit more of the major side of things. So what I'm going to do is add in the 7 on the first string along with the phrase that I just played. So I might do something like this. Or let's say I wanted to end it instead with more of a minor sound. So what I'm going to do is go to the 8th fret of the second string and do a traditional bend, a traditional minor pentatonic bend. Now, of course, you could add all of those things together in whatever way you want. You might do something like... And ultimately, I could even do a bend on the 8th fret of the first string, which is minor, and then go to the major bend, like I did before. So the nice thing is that you can spend some time really exploring these two strings and thinking about how you're separating major and minor. Now, don't get lost in the weeds thinking, well, you know, why can't I do this minor and this major? And you can do all of those sorts of things. You can do anything you want. But in this video, what I really want to do is give you the things that really make blues sound like blues right away. Implement those into your playing and then start exploring some other ideas. All right, so now we're going to move to the 3rd and 4th strings. So let's look at major here. We have 4-7 and 4-6. And minor, we would have 5-7 and 5-7. Now what I'm going to do is simply borrow one note from the major side and add it into the minor side. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play minor, which is 5-7, 5-7, but I'm going to add in this 6 from the major side. And the way I'm going to do that is by doing what I call a minor-major twist. I'm going to go from the 5 to the 6. Now, this 5, and it's okay if you don't know your theory, but this 5 is actually what we call a minor third, and the 6 is a major third. Now, if we look at the A major chord that we're playing, we're actually playing this 6 right here when we play a major chord. But when we play minor pentatonic over major, we don't have that in there, and it's perfectly fine. It sounds great. But what we can do is move from that minor third to the major third and get that kind of sound. All right, so that's a really easy way of doing that. So what I always tell people is it doesn't matter whether you pick them or hammer do a hammer on or whatever it is. Just think about it going forward, because when you go backwards, it sounds less bluesy and more exotic. When you go forward, it sounds more like blues. So you could play a minor phrase and then move right into that minor major twist. So think about the fact that you could move forward and play 5-6. So there I'm playing 5-7, 5-6, 5-7, 5-8. So I'm going from minor to minor major to major to minor. It's a really great way to get started. Now, once I have that, let's say I was going toward the ceiling, so I'm playing something like minor. So now you'll notice I'm playing minor while I'm descending, but then I do that minor major twist coming back around. And it sounds really, really neat. All right, next up we're looking at the 6th and 5th strings. So our major would be 5-7, 4-7, and our minor would be 5-8, 5-7. What we're going to do for our example today is we're simply going to take the 5th string, instead of playing 5-7, we're going to add on the 4, which is the major, on the bottom side. Now we could skip that little slide if we wanted to and just play 4-7, 5-7. So again, we're doing major to minor, which sounds great, but there's a nice resolve when you play that little slide from 5 to 4. All right, so that's a really easy way of doing that. So now if we look at the whole kind of structure that we've built, we have 4-7, which is major, 5-7, which is minor, 5-6, which is minor and major, and then major, and then minor. And again, at any time, you can move into minor pentatonic, move into major pentatonic, do whatever it is that you like. But think about that kind of new hybrid scale that we've built out of this. And remember, at any time, you can always add in the blues note as well, if you know where that is. Right there. And the octave of it is right there. If you know where that note is, you can always add that into your playing as well. All right, so for a little bonus, what I want to do is just talk about 3 notes that you really should try and end your phrases on, especially now when you're just learning how to do this. One would be, of course, the root. If we were playing whatever it is we do for a motion or a phrase or a lick or a pattern or whatever, we can always go to the A, wherever that A is, and it sounds like the end of that phrase. And of course, we might play that A, and then maybe we stop playing or slide off. You know, we need to give a pause. And then we come back in with something else. Always remember, it's nice to add a little bit of a break. You actually stop playing. The sound of the guitar stops, and then you start again. You don't always have to do that, but it is important to do that. So the next note I want you to think about that's really important is learning how to play what we call the minor 7th, which is part of the A7 chord. So if we look at this A7 chord right here, this note right here the 5th fret of the 4th string, is the new note. We took the pinky from major, we took that pinky off and added, instead of playing the 7, we played the 5. Well, that note becomes very bluesy, so as we're playing our phrases, that's a really nice note to go to. You might play the note, you might slide to the note. Different kinds of things like that, but remembering the sound of that 7th, which is really, really important. And the last note is the major 3rd, which we talked about earlier, but remembering that we can actually resolve on that major 3rd when we play something. And the cool thing is, as you get better with this, you might use any or all of those notes together. I might play something where I go to that major 3rd and then that 7th at the same time. Or maybe I go to the major 3rd, then go to the root, then go to the 7th. So there's lots of different ways that you can do that. Now, if you could do me a huge favor and comment below and let me know if this is helping you with giving you some insight into better blues soloing. And make sure that you check out GuitarZoom.com's all-access guitar membership. I'd love to help you succeed even more on your guitar journey.